Somebody tell Doja Cat that I'm trying to indulge in that.
Wow, that was probably the worst introduction ever. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Claw and the King podcast.
You're meant to continue the song.
And it's probably the meme song of the year at the moment. It's not really a great song. I love Central City, but he's not really, in the good books in terms of creating good music at the moment. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. Hope you enjoyed that little rendition at the start from my main man Oscar over here. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm sweet.
You're sweet? All right.
Let's go.
Very descriptive. All right. What do you want to start off with?
Not much to talk about, to be honest, this week.
Well, in my world there is, in a negative way, but...
Yeah, but in terms of versatility, not much to talk about.
Versatility, but I could ramble on for years about...
But, we'll start with the footy, the Premier League footy. Obviously, week one just concluded.
Yeah.
Mostly the games went as you would expect, apart from
one
in particular.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry at this point. Very enjoyable opening week. I thought, Arsenal kicked it off. They played pretty well, I thought. A bit dodgy in the second half, but first half they dominated Palace. And Palace could have easily ended that game with a draw, but choked a couple of easy chances, and it is what it is. It's 2-0 to Arsenal, and then go throughout the weekend. Liverpool dropped points to Fulham. It was 2-2 draw. Very interesting game. Mitrovic kind of dominated, and Trent Alexander-Arnold made the headlines for the wrong reasons, you could say. He got kind of bullied in the air. I mean, it wasn't really his fault. Mitro's a massive guy anyway, and he's great at headers. So, good thing I got him in my FPL team, because Mitro was balling for me. So that was lovely to see. But also Liverpool dropped points early, which you didn't expect against a newly promoted Fulham, even though Fulham were really dominant in the Championship last year. So it doesn't come as that much of a surprise, but it's still a reasonable surprise. You look throughout the week, you got Man City, who beat West Ham pretty comfortably.
Haaland turned it around pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, in the Charity Shield, everyone was calling him a bust, and then all of a sudden he scored back to
He looks like the second coming of Messi.
Yeah, well, his acceleration at his size and power is just so unreal, and you could see it in that game. And West Ham were poor, let's be real. They just sat back and hoped that City wouldn't score, and that's just a ridiculous strategy to play against a team that can break you down so easily. So Haaland played well, and it was pretty comfortable for City in the end. Chelsea 1-0 win away at Everton. It was a bit dodgy. I mean, Everton, I think I might have predicted it as well for them to go down. Not a great team. And Chelsea looked a bit dodgy in that game. And they also linked with a couple Man United prospects or potential transfers as well, so that's not great. But yeah, it is what it is. And then another game in the weekend, Tottenham dominated Southampton 4-1, I think it was. They look really, really solid. But Southampton looked dreadful, so they might actually be going down. So I might have to sort of fix that in my predictions. But yeah, it was really good for every other top six side, I'd say. Well, not really good. Liverpool were poor. But again, given the circumstances, how they escaped with a draw and they still got points out of that game, it was still, even probably when they even didn't deserve it, I think it was a decent result. But you go into the Manchester United game, and I mean, they gave these group of idiots that we call Manchester United players, gave Ralph Rangnick approximately about 30 minutes. Well, they've given Ten Hag 7 minutes now, so it's going down progressively.
Ten Hag's got to go. It's the only solution.
Yeah, it's the only solution. I mean, bring Ollie back. It was so poor. I mean, I could go player for player. Nobody. I mean, I'm a big fan of the United stand and Mark Goldbridge. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, I do.
But he was doing the player ratings, which I watch after the game every time, and he was struggling to find a man of the match, because he always does a man of the match for Man United. But even me, I don't know how you could pick a Manchester United player that played well in that game. I mean, everyone was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. We were down 2-0. Second half was better. But again, that was because McSauce was off. McTominay stayed on, but Fred got subbed off. But yeah, I could go player for player. They were all poor. And it's just abysmal. And then in light of that terrible result, what does Manchester United decide to do? What do Manchester United decide to do?
I think we need to make some groundbreaking signings.
Yeah, not Frankie de Jong. Not anyone, talented or anything. A 33-year-old racist.
Well,
and
the club has withdrawn their offer.
Well, they still wanted him, so that's a worrying sign. And also Adrien Rabiot, which is just a French version of Scott McTominay. Not great. If you look at his stats from last season, and you look at the progressive passes made, it was like in the 17th percentile. Not great. Also, forward passes, look at pass accuracy, pretty poor. It's not great. And actually, he's not McTominay. He's more like Fred. He's just a taller version of Fred. He's good at pressuring and he's good at tackling. That's what Fred only does. And we're going to get another Fred. And he can't play 6. He's not good enough of a passer to play 6 and play make from the back and sort of transition.
But why do these guys have to be on the field?
What do you mean?
Well, like how many midfielders do you need? Can't you just run it all through Eriksen?
Eriksen ain't really a wonder guy. He's not the best player. He's not a Kevin De Bruyne. Look, Eriksen is primarily, in my opinion, a number 10. And so his best football is played up the pitch. So you don't want to be keeping him at 6, where he has to do defensive duties and defensive marking, which he's not good at whatsoever. Now he can pass, and his ability to control the ball as well as sort of make the ball transition from defense to attack is much better than any other player that we have. But still, defensively, he's nowhere near up to scratch.
But it doesn't matter. The fucking defense sucks anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nightmare, mate, to be honest with you.
Why wasn't Varane playing? Is he injured?
No, he's just getting back to fitness.
Getting back to fitness?
That's another thing. Look, I'm a big Ten Hag supporter. I wanted him to get the job over Pochettino.
Does he know that if he makes Varane fit, he's going to injure himself?
But he made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes picking Maguire over Varane, picking Luke Shaw over Malacia, picking McFred again. When I saw that lineup at an hour before kickoff, I was like, oh my God. I just cried. It's 3 years in a row. If you look at Twitter, you look at the memes, it's just everyone just losing their mind because they cannot fathom the fact that these idiots have been starting in the midfield for 3 years in a row. It's just shocking. It's so embarrassing that McTominay was awful. The worst player on the pitch in pitch full of bad players.
So they played McTominay, Fred, Bruno and Eriksen.
Yeah. It was like a diamond at the start where Bruno and Eriksen were like alternating as the false nines. It was weird. And then Rashford was
How
poor.
would that ever work?
Mate, I don't know. We don't have a striker at the moment, and in light of that, they decided to go for Marko Arnautovic. So, I mean, you do the math. It's bewildering to me, and it's looking ever likely that Frankie de Jong will not sign for Manchester United. News came out
I think it's pretty much certain.
Well, he's still in the race somehow. We're still in the race somehow, but it even looks like Chelsea. A couple of Barcelona sort of newspapers and reporters are saying that Chelsea are the preferred option to Manchester United for Frankie de Jong.
How could you fathom that he'd prefer to go to Chelsea?
Well, I mean, we got Ten Hag, we got his boy, we got Donny.
Donny's probably on the phone to him, like, do not come here. Please.
He's like, oh my God, Ollie's finally gone. I can play.
And you're on loan.
Oh, I'm on loan. Oh, okay. Oh, when I get back, Eric Ten Hag, manager's back. I'm on the bench for McTominay again. Oh, God. Oh, God. He didn't even...
is it De Jong?
Yeah.
De Jong knows he's going to be on the bench for McTominay if he comes.
If that happens, I'm rioting. I am flying to Manchester to riot. Speaking of rioting, a lot of protests prior to the game about the Glazers, the Manchester United owners, which is I fully support. They should be out, but they won't sell, frankly. And there's a couple reports I saw on Twitter of a couple consortiums that are interested, but I doubt there'll be any sort of leeway in that. The Glazers keep on making infinite amount of money from Manchester United, and they won't stop, really, no matter how bad the backlash gets. So just disappointing all week for Manchester United fans. An upcoming game against Brentford, I don't see how we win it. You were saying, how can you not win it?
You have to win it.
How? We don't have any good players.
You have better players than Brentford.
Yeah, but it's so disjointed, and the midfield is worse than Brentford's midfield. We got the worst midfield in the Premier League. The worst. You telling me that McTominay and Fred together could play together for... They probably could play together for a League One side. I think that's their level. Honest, McTominay's the worst footballer I've ever seen play for Manchester. And that's maybe a bit of an over-exaggerate, because I've seen Bebe play and I've seen terrible players play for Manchester United. But consistently play for Manchester United, he's by far and away the worst player I've ever seen. Can you think of a guy that's consistently play? I'm thinking of Tom Cleverley,
Phil Jones.
They're better than him. They have more redeeming qualities about their game than him. I mean, McTominay, what does he do? He hides from the ball. He hides behind opposition players. He cannot pass. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. He can't defend. Positionally wise, he's atrocious defensively. So, I don't understand how he gets picked. He must have a clause in his contract that the manager gets a £1 million bonus every time he plays. I mean, there must be something like that.
I don't know. He must be a good bloke.
Who gives a fuck? Who cares if he's a good bloke? Who cares? Well, it's Manchester United. We're not Sunday League team. He's a good lad. He shouted his beers on the weekend. He deserves to get a start. What?
Maybe he's a good trainer. Who knows?
I don't care if he's a good trainer. He's a shit player. I'm sure I could try hard in training.
Yeah, but he trains like he's a good player.
I doubt
he performs well in training.
Well, that's probably it. We're that bad of a team that every player just looks half decent in training, and the manager's like, oh, we're a good team. The attack's looking good, and then we get to the game and we realize, oh my God, we're terrible. It's just the defense is trash. And the defense, Lisandro Martinez debut, he could have given away a penalty. Very easily could have been a penalty. I thought it was shoulder on shoulder first time I saw it, but looking back, it did look like a penalty to me. So very lucky to get away with it. But apart from that, I thought he had a good game. Maguire was so slow, especially in that first half. I mean, my God.
He's just so uncoordinated as a human.
He's just
it is honestly baffling how he's made it as far as he has with the level of coordination he possesses.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. I was like...
It's just like if you think of that kid in school who was just so uncoordinated, but he somehow made it to the elite level of the hardest sport in the world.
Yeah, it's like me. Somehow I made the B's. I mean, I didn't even fucking...
Yeah. And that was short-lived. They quickly realised you were dog shit and set you back down.
It took a year, to be fair. It took a year for me to get dropped. So, yeah, I mean... I was quite like Maguire, to be honest. I'm thinking about it now.
You honestly were. Maybe if you were actually in England, you would have made it to Man United.
Yeah, but I could have kept on playing. I could have made it professional. I don't know. Apparently, coaches love him. So yeah, Varane. I just want him to start, please. Ten Hag, please start him over Maguire on the weekend. Play Lisandro. Delo was awful as well. He never closed down a player. They just gave him ample.
Was Wan-Bissaka there?
He's shit as well. I mean, the whole team.
He was meant to be good, wasn't
he? At defending, apparently, but he's worse than me at passing. I mean, the guy looks so uncoordinated. You talk about uncoordination when they're passing. Jesus. The guy cannot pass to save his life.
How has this happened to a club? I don't understand.
Ownership.
Honestly, they're probably in a relegation battle at this point.
I wouldn't put it that far.
You could be.
I mean, based on last year's form, we could be 14th, but I don't know. It was shocking to see opening day. Most years, opening day, lock on for Man United to win, no matter who we're playing. Because just the energy, first game of the season, you're feeling pumped. The crowd's pumped up.
And then who's the striker, the old Man United player?
Oh, Welbeck tore Maguire to shreds.
I was watching the True Geordie thing, and they were just praising Welbeck, saying it's the best he's ever played.
Well, yeah, we made him look like a god. I mean, it was Bambi on ice for a couple minutes there, especially in the first half. But yeah, he just grew into the game and just dominated Maguire and Martinez because they were just so out of it because they never played together before and they were playing a high line, which Maguire cannot play. The only way he can be a professional footballer is if you play a back five with two holding midfielders in front of him, like they do at England.
Yeah, and you put pace horse like Walker and...
Yeah, they can recover for him. That's when he shines. It's when he's, Harry Maguire, the best version.
Well, he doesn't shine. He's just hidden and he's standing there.
Yeah, you don't really notice him, to be fair. But it's just, I don't see how we'd get better. Because Frankie de Jong, I think we could pretty much nail on that ain't happening right now.
Yeah, it would be surprising.
I don't think that's happening at all. And then, who do we get? Rabiot, is that the midfielder to solve our problems? The guy that cannot pass, cannot dribble. He's just worse version of what we've got right. Well, he's not. He's a slightly better version of what we've got right now. Am I supposed to be hyped up about that? So yeah, I don't know who we get. We've been linked with a guy called Gakpo.
Who?
Gakpo, I think his name is. He's plays for PSV. But again, they won today in the Champions League qualifiers, and we were kind of hoping that they would lose today, so he would have less incentive to stay because PSV will be in Champions League and Man United obviously in Europa League. But yeah, he's I think rated very highly. Looks talented. He's only 19, I want to say. And yeah, he looks very talented, and yeah, it's probably transfer around 35 million euros, which is affordable.
35.
But he's a left winger that's also a striker. I think we need him, but
Yeah, if he's replacing Rashford, get him in.
yeah, God. But again, he looks very similar to Rashford. Like, he plays kind of similar. He's a wide forward that's not really creator, but he's a good goal scorer on paper. But Rashford ain't a good goal scorer at the moment, so I guess you can say...
I'm sorry, I cannot... If anyone tells me Bruno Fernandes is good, I'm going to shoot them. He's not good.
He is a good player.
No, he's not.
I rate
Stop. He's not good.
He is good,
He's
though.
not good.
He's just playing horrible at the moment because his midfield sucks and he feels like he has to do a Hollywood part.
He's
getting on my nerves.
His shooting is terrible. He doesn't do anything.
Well, he should be getting dropped at this point, but I don't think it's all... Like, I think there is a talented player in there. Especially his first...
How did he get so highly praised?
Because his... One, at Sporting, and two, his first year and a half at Man United, he was unreal.
But he must have just been fluking it.
No, he wasn't fluking it. He was unreal at Sporting. He was unreal at the Portugal level as well. He's a really, really good player. Problem is, he's just...
But how can you be in such bad form where you just forget how to shoot completely?
It's not even that. I think he just tries so much in a game. It's just... That's what mainly pisses him. Now, he missed some major chances last season. But the main problem with him is his general play. How he just... One, he flops around a lot and just argues with the ref. That just pisses me off. But the main thing is that he tries these balls that never on, and he never tries to play simple in the simple pass. And I know you want to create, and you need to create, especially when teams are playing a low block and you need to sort of invent stuff. But sometimes a simple pass is good, and I don't mind the odd Hollywood pass, but you've got to sort of change it up a bit. So, yeah. Yeah, I just got a call, sorry. But yeah, it was a poor showing by Man United. And yeah, you got to sort that out.
Got to sort it out, lads. Got to sort it out.
Lads, come on. I know you listen to the podcast. Obviously you are, because they're clawing the king faithful, the Man United players. It's not like we rinse them every week and we talk shit about them. We're obviously very highly supportive of this team.
They are jokes of players.
They are. I mean, I predicted Man United to finish fourth this year.
Why would you predict that?
Because
what sort of idiot would predict that?
Because I'm hopeful.
Even a Man United fan could not predict that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was maybe a bit ambitious, but we still have time, okay? We still can do it if we sign some decent players and we get rid of McTominay. But we won't. That's a problem. We're run by idiots.
No one wants to go there. So
we're run by idiots. That's the problem. So, yeah, Brentford the next week, and then we've got Liverpool, I think, the week after, which is just a nightmare.
Well, that will be 8-0.
Yeah, I mean, the main concern was it looked no different to any Ollie team. Like, Ollie last year and Ragnick last year, it looked no different to that performance. And that's the worrying part, is it didn't look like we changed at all. Pre-season, yeah, we played well. But yeah, we're going to be probably... Our midfield probably is going to consist of McFreddy, which is sort of a viral term that's going around right now, which is McTominay, Fred, and Rabiot. Combining all three of those names results in McFreddy. So
that is
very inventive by whoever made that up. So shout out to you.
Macca's should make a McFred burger.
McFred. Oh my god, what would be in it? Just cow shit. Just all the employees shit in a hamburger and just here you go.
It's just they cook a bun twice, so it comes out of the toaster. They put it back in again, comes out black, and then they just pour oil on it.
Sounds delicious.
And then a single leaf of lettuce.
A single leaf. Why a single leaf?
Just for vibrancy and health. Okay.
Well, see, I think you got to make it look good, but taste terrible. Like on the outside, these guys, Brazilian, one of them is Brazilian. They play for Manchester United. They must be great players.
It can be a chicken and beef burger.
Ooh. But the chicken is undercooked and gives you salmonella.
Yeah, so the grilled chicken is raw, and the beef is basically dust. It's been that well cooked.
Oh, wow. It is like a bit like hot and cold with though. They're very opposite type of looking players. So
yeah, exactly. That's why it's chicken and beef. If you can work it out.
So that's a McFred burger for you. That's what we're coming out with. You should pitch that to Macca's. I mean, I know you're a former employee.
Probably English Macca's would take it more than Australian Macca's, but
no, there's plenty of Manchester United fans that would buy into McFred, I'm sure. But right. Yeah, you should pitch that to your old Macca's. Hey, I've got an idea here. I used to be the boss around here. But let me tell you something.
I'm still the boss.
You're still the boss?
Yeah.
Well, you could just waltz in there and go, hey, lads, we're putting something on the menu. It's called the McFred burger. May give you food poisoning, but it's also a rendition to my favourite team in the world.
What's the price point? It's got to be well priced. I mean,
Fred costs $50 million, so it's got to be in the $10 range at least.
$10 range.
Yeah, I'm talking what's the best, most expensive burger at Macca's?
Oh, one of the gourmet ones. I don't know, classic Angus or something.
Like a $12 burger, is that it?
No, it wouldn't be $12. I don't know if there'd be a burger over 10.
Ooh, well, maybe we have to break records here. I think maybe a $10 burger for the McFred. But yeah, they're shocking, and if they play again, I'm just gonna lose it. I just can't watch it anymore. It's so bad. Just watching those idiots.
Go to bed then. Get your sleep.
But I can't though, because I'm a devoted fan and I love this club.
Watch the highlights in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not a fake fan like you. I am a real fan, and I will watch the games. Okay, and I will watch these idiots run around, do nothing, and just leave. And the defensive, they get this notion in the media. There's this notion in the media that they're good defenders. They're shit defenders. They cannot defend to save their life. Their positional awareness is awful. How many times on the weekend? I know you might have watched a bit more than the highlights, but you would have seen how wide open they were. Every time Brighton were on the attack and transition, we were wide open. Nothing through the middle. They just waltzed through the middle, passed it out wide, had a shot, rebound goal. I mean, that was essentially the second goal. They were awful. Absolutely awful. How he's not even being considered to be sold is ridiculous. Yeah, God, it was just awful to watch. And it was a bit like, I think a lot of Man United fans kind of sensed it was coming when you heard the team news. And I think I'm hoping that Ten Hag is realising what every Manchester United fan realised 3 years ago. How bad.
Well, you'd hope so. You'd hope so.
But yeah, that's sort of my Man United rant. And hopefully we get a result against Brentford, which I'm not too sure of, which is how far we've fallen. Let's be real. And I just hate Arsenal fans gloating about it as well. Mate, you're shit as well. Shut up. So
they're clearly better than United, but
they're still shit though. That's like saying, okay,
it's still
I'm smarter than an 8th grader.
We can't talk.
Like, cool.
They're better than us easily.
Yeah, but they can't talk either because they've done jack shit. So what are they talking about?
But they're better. So
well, they finished 8th and 5th. So
yeah, but this season, objectively, they're way better.
Yeah, but okay. Just because you're like Leicester could be better, Newcastle are probably better than us this season. That doesn't mean they pop up and it's like, oh, in the mud United. Like, shut up, mate. Honestly, Arsenal fans need to shut up. So I'm not saying shut up to you. Obviously,
I'm not an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I know. So. That might have been misconstrued. I would obviously never put my mate down here, even though he had a bit of a mishap on the weekend. But that's another story for another time. I did use some colourful language towards him when he made that mistake, or he was making.
I didn't make a mistake.
a follow-up mixed. It's another story. It's out of context. We don't need to bring that up right now. Maybe later on. Moving on. Other footy, Australian footy, better footy, NRL. Is it? Yeah, definitely. I have a bit of a segment maybe at the end. Okay. That I just discovered. I just wanted to forewarn you.
All right. Well, okay. Before that, we'll chat the biggest news of the week. Ricky Stewart, obviously the grub that he is. He I don't think I've ever seen a worse display of sportsmanship, a more salty man, destroying the integrity of a Penrith legend, Jamin Salmon.
Yeah, he did kick somebody in the balls.
After a historic performance, a historic win, destroying the Raiders 13+ easily without our 3 best players. Has that ever been done? Who knows? Maybe it'll never be seen again, that sort of performance.
Really? Okay,
and Ricky Stewart is depressed. His jaw is on the floor in disappointment because his season is probably over. And, he's taken a low blow at young Jamin. Jamin gave one to Tom Starling on the field, and Ricky gave him one off the field.
Yeah, but
Jamin's it's disgusting.
Well, the situation's very sort of hard to read because a lot of the personal information that you need for the context of the situation is not available.
No, well, you shouldn't need it. It shouldn't.
Well, you should.
There should be nothing to do with a 12-year-old brought up into this.
Well, what the rumours are... Well, I'm not going to say the rumours, but obviously the rumours that are being put around, even a 12-year-old should understand that is very dodgy things to say about someone's family, especially how personal he apparently made it, or allegedly made it. But we're not... That's here or there. The point is Ricky went too far. Now, is the suspension valid, do you think? Do you think he should have been suspended for a game?
Yeah.
So it's made history. First coach suspended for post-game comments in NRL history.
Yeah, I think he probably should have been suspended for the rest of the year.
Really?
Nah, I don't really care. But the thing is, I don't care. I enjoy seeing coaches rip in and roast people. Because I think if you do these sorts of punishments, that just stops coaches from saying anything. They just sit there and go, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Well, Trent Robbo, he's known to spray the refs when they...
Yeah, and I love Robbo spraying the refs. It gets me hard, I like seeing the refs put in their place.
Okay. Moving on.
Not really, obviously, but...
it sounds pretty genuine.
I do love Robbo. He's a nice guy.
Is he? Do you know him personally?
Well, I feel like I do because of his interviews. So.
Yeah, to be fair, he's quite open in interviews. Anyway, we'll move on from that statement. But it's weird because what he did on the field, Jamin Salmon, was not
the kick was fine.
Well,
he barely touched him. Every tackle players do that.
He should have been punished for it, I think, a bit more severely. He kicked a guy in the balls.
An accidental graze to the nuts.
He was kicking out. Yeah,
but players kick out every tackle. It just happened that he was standing
I know, but
there.
he was kicking out originally, missing Tom Starling, and then he saw where Tom Starling was and literally looked at him. You look at his eyes. He literally looked at him, kicks him in the ball straight on.
Nah, it wasn't that. He barely even touched him. It
was clear that he intended to do it. And it was a really grubby move. And I don't think that's... I think because of Ricky's comments, that hasn't been brought up enough. But yeah, it's an interesting situation, and obviously you feel for Ricky if it's sort of brought up some personal matters. And look, you can't say that about a player. You can't call a player a wet-gutted dog in a press conference.
A weak-gutted dog.
A weak-gutted dog.
It's a weak-gutted dog as a kid, and he's a weak-gutted dog now.
It was a pretty good line, I can't lie. It was very convincing, but yeah.
It was just so out of nowhere.
It was just not on from Ricky, and you can't just say that. Even though I think most people understand that every Penrith player is a grub, so no one cares. Right, every Penrith player is a grub. Everyone knows that.
No, they're not.
Crichton is a grub. Kickout's a grub.
Kickout's the nicest bloke you've ever met.
Luai. Is he? Remember when he kneed somebody on the fucking ground? Stomped on their head?
Luai's not a grub. He's a legend.
Did he stomp on someone's head when they were sitting? They were lying on the ground.
Who would have done that? His head was in the road. He had to get over it somehow.
He was looking at his head, literally moved out his path to stomp on his head.
Have you ever watched WWE? It's called the stomp. It's a move.
Yeah, but that's a fake. It's fake and scripted. Crichton's a grub anyway because how fucked up he played in Origin. That's number one. Number two,
he played well this week.
He tries to celebrate with the opposing teams when he's got a try.
That's not grubby. That's funny.
I mean, every Penrith... Capewell's a fucking
Will
queen.
Chambers is a notorious celebrate with the other team kind of guy.
Yeah, but Crichton does it. Yeah, but Will Chambers doesn't even play.
Will Chambers was the grub, though, when he played, so...
I would argue Penrith are the grubby team, though.
Nah.
The only likable player that you have in your team is Toto. That's it. not Dylan
Cleary
Edwards.
is like the most liked guy in the league.
Is he?
Yeah.
People look at him and they're like, oh my God, look at that chin. Look how ugly this motherfucker
I would say broadly, Cleary is probably the most popular player in the league.
Is he?
I would say so.
I'd say Jake Trbojevic is the most popular player in the league.
Yeah, but the thing is, Cleary is so more widely known than Jake Trbojevic.
Not in the league, though.
Yeah, I'm not talking about people that play. I'm talking about from a fan's perspective.
I don't know. But yeah, who else? I mean, Liam Martin's a grub.
No, he's not.
Queensland literally called him a grub prior to the game.
Yeah, Origin. They called him a grub. That's because he's a messy person. He doesn't clean his room.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's a nice bloke. Yeah. If you watch any of them do interviews off the field, they're all legends.
Yeah, because they interview each other. They're like, oh, thank you.
No, they don't.
Mauso. Oh, Liam.
Yeah, my dog Mauso, my brother from another mother.
See, Brian Toto's likable, but Luai kicks people on the ground and underperforms for New South Wales. So,
mate,
you're a team full of grubs.
Half your team does shit.
Jamin Salmon obviously insults little kids and kicks people in the balls.
He insults little kids when he was a little kid. That has to be
yeah, but it's not like you're fat. Little insult. It's a very serious allegation that's being put across.
Well, everyone makes mistakes when they're kids.
I don't think I ever said that. So,
well, you were never in that position.
I don't think anyone with a sound and non-grubby mind would ever say. Anyway, moving on from your grubby team.
Okay, moving on. You're getting close. Well, there's 4 weeks left, so entering the final month of the season. It's getting close. This is probably the best top 8 battle there's been in years. Whether there's actually good teams fighting for the 8. Usually it's top 6 are good and everyone...
It's usually the Dragons and the Tigers. And it's like, oh my God, can this end, please?
Usually, like, Titans made the 8 last year and they had a losing record, so... But this year is actually, the Roosters are apparently they're a contender and they might not even make the 8. So,
well, I think we're a lot more likely than we were 5 weeks ago. So
yeah, but still tough. So I guess what we'll do is just rank where we see the 8 teams in order of contention at the moment.
In contention
to win, yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave Raiders out of it because.
Although the current top 8.
Although the Raiders could still make the 8, I think there's zero chance they could win the comp. So I think leave them out of it.
Okay, be funny if they win the comp in like 6 weeks. Yeah. So Penrith obviously number 1 for me.
Ooh.
I'll do top 4 actually contenders. Top 8. There isn't really 8 contenders I'd have.
Well, it's just the 8 teams that are in the 8.
Okay. So I'd have obviously Penrith number 1. I'd probably have Sharks number 2, I think the Sharks are probably the most talented depth. I mean, it depends on Will Kennedy as well, but I think you look at the depth that they have, you look at the forward pack, the halves are playing really well. And obviously you like the Sharks because of Matty Moylan.
Yeah, they are. Nothing would bring me more joy to see a Sharks-Panthers grand final.
What if...
when Moyser wins the Clive Churchill, but Panthers win the
No, but what
final.
if the Sharks won and Moyser won Clive Churchill? Would you still celebrate? I think you would.
I would smile through tears.
So, yeah, I put Sharks number 2. I put Chooks number 3. We just look unbelievable at the moment. What can I say? Even though we've got major injuries to our forward pack, Lizzie Collins is in a boxing ring apparently every day of the week and just gets knocked out. And
he uses his head as the his main tackling weapon.
Also, Victor Radley likes to do that as well.
Victor Radley, everyone praises Victor Radley. He's the worst tackler I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he puts on big hits though. So
yeah, with his head.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's shit.
Yeah, but he commits though. He's a committed guy.
But in terms of tackling technique, he's terrible.
No, who cares? He gets CTE when he's 50. Who cares?
He'll get it when he's 30.
Yeah, he'll still be playing. He'll be just a mad.
No, he won't.
He'll just be mad as hell. So yeah, Roosters at 3, and my number 4 is between Storm and Para, because I don't rate the Cowboys, don't rate the Broncos. I'm going to go Para, just for the fact that I know they can win a big game. Now, I know the concern is, can they win multiple big games in a row? I think time will tell, but I think you look at the team on paper, you look at how talented they are, you look how they should have beaten Penrith in the postseason last year if their trainer was another grub for the Penrith Panthers. Your trainer, which is just a new level.
He's not a grub.
Mate,
he's doing his job.
Yeah. No, he's not doing his job. He's actually not. He's doing the opposite of aiding a Penrith player. He's actively trying to stop the game. Not for any medical reason. He hasn't even seen the injury of the player. He's just like, stop the game, mate, ref. They're on the break. Stop the game.
He's seen his ankle pointing left, and he's gone, ref, stop it.
It was just clearly
anyway, we don't need to dwell on this again.
But yeah, Parramatta, they should have beaten Penrith last year. They've had a couple of really impressive wins as of recent. Even though they're such a flip-flop team in terms of results, 4th for me.
4th for you. Okay. Well, for me, obviously Panthers number 1, and I would say 95% of people are resigned to the fact that Penrith are going to win the comp.
I wouldn't say that.
Gus Gould went on.
Yeah, but he's also a former Penrith.
But everyone listens to him, and he said Penrith are going to win. There's only 2 people that could potentially beat them, which is the Chooks and the Eels.
Baby.
And then I was listening to Bloke in a Bar's podcast, and they were saying, even if Cleary and Luai didn't come back, they'd still have Penrith as favourites to win the comp, which is really saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Penrith obviously won. I got Sharks 2 as well. Obviously, Matt Moyser carrying the team back to his best. I just like their team all round. They got a nice team. So I think everyone likes to like the Sharks, but no one really sees them as
Does anyone like Cronulla, though?
No, but they have a lot of likeable players in their team.
Well, yeah, I've got a history with people from Cronulla. I'm not very fond of Cronulla as a place, to be honest. But yeah, Cronulla. It's such a shit place, though, isn't it?
No one cares. Well, you're not associating the place with the team.
Well, I mean, you're saying Cronulla's the most likeable team. I disagree.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the location of it.
Yeah, well, they're a racist place. Let's be real.
Sure. 3rd, I'd still have the Storm in 3rd. Just because of history, and I trust them until they don't win anymore. So I still have a little bit of faith in Storm. I'll put them at 3.
The whole team's injured.
I know, but they're coming back,
Are they?
Well, Hughes will be back. They still got Munster, who's probably the best player in the comp. So they're a threat.
How did Tedesco?
Munster's better than Tedesco.
I don't think many people agree with that, but anyway.
I think a lot of people do. Then 4th place, I'll put it's between the Rabbitohs or the Roosters. I'll go the Roosters, I guess, but only just.
Get in there, my son.
For me, the Broncos and the Cowboys are just absolute pretenders. They I cannot see them winning a single finals game unless they're playing each other. Then one of them will inevitably win. But
oh wow, what a piece of commentary there.
Yeah, I can't see either of them winning. They're just absolute trash. Lucky they started the season well, otherwise they'd be fucked. But both those teams definitely playing above where they really are. And then Eels, I just can't see them winning because they never win, and it's just they're a cursed team, similar to the Clippers in the NBA. The Eels just can't win, so there's no reason for me to back them.
Well, this year the curse is going to flip over for the Clippers, but that's another topic for another day. But we are the most talented team in the NBA.
Okay,
so moving on.
Moving on.
Do you want me to do my little segment that I've just come up with randomly?
Go for it.
So.
If I don't like it, we're not doing it.
Okay, it's a bit of a sort of a topical sort of 5-minute answer maybe. But I was just thinking, what do you think? We talk about a lot of sports on this podcast, but what do you think would be the hardest to go pro in? Like out of all the sports, what's the one sport that you think, wow, that's pretty impossible to get into?
What do you mean? Pro at all or into the top league?
Well, professional.
Like for basketball, does the NBL count?
Yes. So go professional in a sport. What's the hardest to go professional in a sport?
That's hard.
It is a tough one. For me, it was F1.
Yeah, F1 is probably the hardest.
Because it's just that many, so limited amount of seats, plus you've got to have money, plus you've got to have the ability. Well, if you look at Latifi, he doesn't have the ability, but still, you've got to have money, a significant amount of money at least behind you to be able to get a professional seat. Is F2 counted as professional?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, and
but I mean that's technically different to F1.
And also American football, it was my second choice for me. Just for the fact that there is no other leagues internationally, even though you've got I think 52 players on a roster for a whole year, still really tough to get on there. You've got so many world-class athletes competing in that sport, and it's just unbelievably tough to get in there. So for me, and your job is basically, it's up for grabs every week, especially early on in the season. So, yeah, those are my two. I reckon. Okay. Do you have any other sport
I'd probably throw in tennis, because tennis is obviously a global sport, and there's only really a few hundred spots on the professional tour, and it's not like there's different leagues. It's it's one tour, and if you're shit, like at the bottom end, there's a good chance you're gonna be losing money because you have to pay to enter the tournaments, and it's a lot of money. So I know a lot of people don't take tennis seriously. A lot of people play it when they're a kid, but then usually drop it. When you start playing soccer or basketball or whatever. But,
football.
I'd say that's just a hard sport because the entire world plays it and there's only a few hundred spots up for grabs. I was going to say basketball, but there's, heaps of leagues all around the world. If it was for NBA, I would say basketball, but because there's lots of leagues. Soccer is, while there's probably the biggest depth in terms of players, there's, in England, there's, 4 leagues alone. When you go to every country in Europe, there's multiple leagues. Australia.
Yeah, football is relatively easy to get into professionally. I mean, speaking from two non-professional athletes over here, but there are multiple leagues, there are multiple teams within each league. So
there's multiple teams in each league. That is really great stuff.
Well, I meant there's more than a couple teams in each league. So yeah, it's relatively easy. Every country essentially plays it and has a professional team. Even if you go to fucking Bolivia, you'll have a professional team. So yeah, football was never in my consideration, but F1 for me is probably the toughest because you've got to have a mix of talent and money behind you to get a seat.
Yeah, I mean, but there's
your job's up for grabs every year, essentially, unless you're the cream of the crop.
Unless you're Daniel Ricciardo and there's a clause that you can only leave if you want to.
Do you want to quickly sort of go on, just overview that contract that you just found out?
Yeah, well, I just read on this article that obviously with the McLaren situation, they're trying to give Danny the boot, but apparently in his contract, he's the only one that can walk away from the contract. McLaren can't terminate his contract unless he's done something that's in breach of the contract.
Like what?
Which, I don't know, kill someone.
Does it say that in the contract? Well, if you murder someone, Daniel Ricciardo, he can
probably
fly.
I don't know if he does something that brings McLaren into
fair.
I don't know, he does a scandal, but obviously Danny's a good boy, he never does that. So and apparently it says he wants 21 million to walk away from it. So are you paying him 21 million to get Piastri in next year?
No.
But what? Because
he's been shocking.
Piastri has kind of fucked himself now because Alpine. Can they still?
Well, Alpine. I don't think Alpine has took the Twitter sort of message down.
No, but surely Alpine cannot be that weak to go back to him now and say, do you still want to drive for us? After he's clearly fucked them over.
Well, what option does Piastri have? I mean,
well, yeah, because he wants a seat. Clearly, he wants a seat next year. If McLaren aren't able to offer him the seat, and he's already burnt his bridges with Alpine, what does he do?
Williams.
Well, that's literally the only other option. But that has to be there's like a cloud. There's like an electric force field around Williams where drivers just can't go there.
Yeah,
because
they extended Albon. It's just whether they keep Latifi. They can't.
Yeah, well,
though.
I think they're willing to let go of him.
I mean, he brings in a lot of money apparently.
Yeah, but the money doesn't do anything, does it?
Well, yeah, he ends up crashing the car every week.
They get worse every year anyway.
Yeah, why spend any money? You're gonna lose. You might as well just save your money. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Is he praying for Lewis Hamilton to sort of do a shock retirement, and Mercedes go, you know what, we're gonna get you?
I don't know. I reckon Lewis is the fire's back now. I reckon he's on for next year.
I think he's on for this year. Mercedes.
No, but I mean,
yeah.
I mean, driving next
Drivers'
year.
Championship. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one for Piastri. There isn't any sort of available ones. Maybe
also, who knows if that article I was reading was factual? But
he could go Alpha Tauri. I think Yuki Tsunoda's contract's up, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I think Yuki's is. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think there's many seats available. I think it's literally just Alpine and Williams.
So, unlucky Piastri. So, I mean, does McLaren bite that $21 million bullet? Yeah, I can't see it. He's too good for their publicity and public relations.
Piastri would be coming in as a villain, essentially.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves Daniel, and the way that he's been shafted, no one would like Piastri.
Say if they do,
even though Piastri
separate
is Australian, but
yeah, you can't take out another Australian from a job. It's just unethical.
Why does Piastri not know the rules? What is he doing?
Yeah,
take your shitty job at Alpine. You can drive at McLaren later.
So where do you think Daniel goes if they do come to a contract separation?
In this article, it said McLaren don't want to do anything until they can guarantee Daniel a spot in F1 with another team. So they want him to be signed on with Alpine before they release him.
How does that even work? You can't do that. You can't be driving for two teams at once. I don't think you can.
But they just want to, before announcing it, they want to make sure that he's got a deal on the table.
Doesn't make much sense, that. But anyway.
Well, that's just them being nice to him so that he's not left out in the open.
Anyway, moving on from that debacle of Piastri. Is there any other topics you'd like to discuss, my friend? It's a bit of a short podcast. I got a few errands to run. But yeah, we got another topic that you'd maybe like to discuss.
Do we?
I thought we did, didn't we?
Oh, well, I thought you were replacing with this. What, you want to do the rapid fire?
Yeah, we can do rapid fire as well.
Okay,
so we thought we'd do a bit of rapid fire. Now, my plan was to talk about Oscar's questionable behaviour.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
But he doesn't like talking about himself, but he loves talking about everyone else, which is just Oscar in a nutshell, essentially. But
yeah,
it was embarrassing. I mean, if you want to know, just ask. If you ask in the comments, I'll reply to it. Don't worry. If you ask, what did Oscar do? I'll reply to it.
Reply in the comments. Wow.
It was embarrassing.
It wasn't embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing.
Well, it's only embarrassing if I get embarrassed.
Okay. Rapid fire ridiculous questions according to this website. Okay, so don't blame me for a stupid question. Okay, ready?
Well, just read them in your head before you read it out loud.
Okay. Well, it might be a stupid. Okay. What football? All right. Do you want to start a timer?
Timer.
3. Do it in a minute. We'll set a timer for a minute.
Okay. Go.
Ready?
Go.
What football team do you support? Why them?
United. Ronaldo.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Most traumatic experience in your life?
Living in France.
That's not that. Sing a song that best describes you.
How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay.
Okay. Lovely. What would I find in your fridge right now?
Milk.
If a Hollywood made a movie about your life, who would you like to see play the lead role?
Daniel Radcliffe.
If someone wrote a biography about you, what do you think the title should be?
How to be a legend.
If you're a character from Star Wars, which one would you be?
Obi-Wan.
I was going to say Leia. Most bizarre life experience.
Bizarre. Going to cabaret with my family.
Okay. What would you choose as your last meal?
Big Mac.
Using a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself on how weird you are.
7, 6.
Okay. If you could be any superhero, who would you be?
I don't know. Fuck. Superman, Spider-Man, I guess. Yeah, he gets all the hot chicks.
Okay. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate, I guess.
Can you tell a joke?
No.
Fair. Who you like best, your mum or your dad?
NA.
NA? I know you've got parents, so that's a weird...
You know I've got parents.
Yeah, it's just weird. Why would you say NA? You don't like any of them?
I'm not answering the question.
Okay. What is worst boss you've ever had?
Worst boss?
Me.
My old boss.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, my old boss. Just in case. Just in case my current boss sees this.
What kind of people do you dislike?
Dickheads.
Nice. Do you like Jerry or Tom? Who do you root for? In Tom and Jerry.
Tom.
Where would you go if you had a time machine? What time period?
1942. Actually, 1945.
During World War II. Good one, buddy.
I want to witness the end.
Yeah, your country didn't go through the best of times during 1942.
What Australia?
No,
my country's
France.
Australia.
France. What would you like to ask from God?
Why are you ruining the world?
Okay. If you are a God, what would you do to the world?
Make sure no one else believes in God.
Fair play. If you could speak to one type of animal, what would it be?
Dog.
Fair play. Okay.
Was that it? That was longer than 1 minute.
Well, I thought you were going to stop me, so soz, Dad. All right, quick, rapid fire.
You can look at the same questions.
Well, it's like a list. You can look at a separate list. You can search up a separate list if you want. But yeah, that was quite interesting. It was a bit. You got a bit sheltered at one point, but
a bit sheltered.
Well, you wouldn't say who your favorite parent was. That's a bit.
Why would I say that?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
It's a fair question to say.
No, it's not. It's just going to disappoint someone.
I guess. Anyway,
what, you want to say who your favorite parent is?
It's not the question that I'm being asked, is it?
All right, let's start.
Go.
What's your favorite parent?
Mum.
Oh, Jesus.
But you already knew that.
Hopefully your dad doesn't watch this. What video games do you play?
FIFA and 2K.
What ancient place would you like to go to?
Ancient?
Yeah.
Pyramids.
What superpower would you like to have and why?
Flight.
If you were a t-shirt, what color would you be and why?
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Purple.
What was the last book you read?
What's a book?
What?
That's my answer. What's a book? I've never read a book in my life.
Can you describe an atom?
No.
Are your parents disappointed with your career aspirations?
Probably.
If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Good question. Saber-toothed tiger.
So you'd be extinct.
Yeah. I'd be dead.
You'd choose to die. Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit or a cake?
It's a biscuit.
What's the worst decision you've ever made?
There's a couple. Oh God, I don't think I could answer that. I could say one of them maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Worst decision I've ever made. See, I can't say it on camera. Moving on.
If you could be Batman or Robin, which one would you be?
Yeah, you already asked that question.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Okay, Batman. Well, you're my Robin, so. in this podcasting world.
Right.
Why don't you search up rapid fire questions on YouTube then? On Google.
On Google.
Just avoid the other browsers. You don't need to look at them.
Rapid fire questions.
So yeah.
264.
260. Oh god, this is going to be painful.
Okay. What is your job title?
A podcaster.
No.
This is my job. That's all I do in my life. This is my life.
What was your first job?
First job. Depends what you describe a job.
Something you got paid to do.
Clean the house. Next question.
Oh god. What's your favorite season?
Winter.
What's your favorite food?
Hamburger.
Who do you text most?
A friend.
A friend?
Yeah, moving on.
Who is your hero?
Ronaldo.
What was your favorite subject in school?
History.
What's your favorite body part?
On me or on anyone?
Yes, on you.
Probably my eyelashes.
Right.
I got good eyelashes. What can I say?
What's your favorite type of music?
2000s R&B.
What's your favorite movie genre?
Rom-com.
Rom-com?
I'm a TV.
And you shit on me for what I watch. Are you fucking serious?
I'm a TV show kind of guy anyway.
What is your Hogwarts house?
Really don't give a shit about Gryffindors. Actually, no, Slytherin. I like Slytherin. Bad guys.
For God's sake.
I'm a Slytherin guy.
I had a good one. Where is it? Describe your style in one word.
Zesty.
Homeless.
My style is terrific. Even though I'm wearing a bucket hat and a jumper with a broken pocket, I'm still elite style.
Right. Okay. Is that enough questions?
I think that is. Well, you learnt a bit about me. Learn a bit about you.
You don't have to pick up your sister anymore.
I do.
You don't.
Oh, who texted me?
Your mum.
Okay. Well, that's lovely to hear. So I don't have to pick up. Thanks for saying that on the podcast. Anyway,
all good.
Thank you for watching. Hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Bit shorter one, a bit more messy, but hopefully there's some
we got nothing to
news.
talk about tomorrow. Next week there'll be more to talk about. You got UFC.
He's fighting in the UFC.
Usman versus Edwards.
Usman's going to win. Controversial. I'm going to put my neck out there. So, yep.
Controversial. He's number one pound for pound.
It's a hint of sarcasm there,
right?
Buddy, so
you also got like KSI fighting in that.
Oh god, he's fighting swarms. What a fucking joke.
It's funny.
Yeah, but he should have been fighting Jake Paul.
You don't want to run with me.
Oh no.
Run up a man and squeeze.
It should be a boy band. What would our boy? That's a quick fire question. What would our boy band name be?
I don't know.
Good answer. Thank you for listening.
Do you have an answer?
Follow us on all digital platforms, brev.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe and that. Hit that red button ting in it.
Done out.
Cheers, man, them for watching the ting, brother.